call the member for Canberra.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker. And I too am very excited to speak on this very important and overdue reform from Labor to women's health, offering women lower costs, more choice and just better health care. For too long, women's health has not been taken seriously by decision makers, and we've heard too many stories of women struggling to access essential healthcare services, whether for contraception, menopause support, pelvic pain or endometriosis treatment. Women have had to fight to be heard, to be believed and to receive the care that they need. And I think all of us, even if we haven't had a terrible experience, we've had an experience that comes to mind when we think about these things, or multiple experiences. I know there are many stories I could share, and every woman I know could share about perhaps not being taken seriously, problems not being addressed if they couldn't be worked out, or just things that don't really seem fair. Women face a lot of costs at the moment in the health system, not because they're unwell, but simply because they're women. And our announcement this week has changed that. Our government has made a landmark investment in the health and well-being of Australian women, an investment of more than $500 million in women's health, which is a historic leap forward, one that will ensure better access, more choice and more affordable health care for millions of Australian women. And this is what happens when you have women in the room making the decisions, and so proud that our government is the first with over 50% of women in our caucus, and it means that these issues have been discussed. And I want to pay particular tribute to my friend and colleague, the Assistant Minister for Health, Jed Carney, who for her whole life, whether as a nurse, a unionist or a member of this House and now a minister, has fought for better health care and health outcomes for Australians, including Australian women. And part of the work that she's been doing has been shining a light on medical misogyny, which is exactly what we've talked about, where, systemically women's health has not been given the attention it deserves. And she's shone a light on these stories of Australian women through forums that she held, and just overwhelmed with numbers and the stories that people had gone through. I also want to acknowledge Senator Marielle Smith, who has headed up the inquiry into menopause, and again shone a light on this experience that affects all women, that has for too long sort of been hidden and taboo, and women, as usual, fronting up against serious health challenges, but needing to go about their everyday lives as if nothing is happening, and not having the access to the affordable care that they need. I want to acknowledge Senator Katie Gallagher, my ACT colleague, and who has led so much change for women as the Minister for Women in this government. And I also, of course, want to acknowledge the Health Minister for championing this as well. And it was wonderful to join them all on Sunday at the ACT Sexual Health and Family Planning Clinic, ACT, and I want to acknowledge that brilliant organisation and the support that they give to Canberra women at all stages of their journey, and sometimes in difficult circumstances, and it's just a really important service that they provide, that accessible advice and health care. This package will ensure that women on low incomes can access critical medications through pharmacies, that general practitioners are supported and rewarded for providing quality care, and that women's health concerns, too often dismissed, are met with serious investment and action. It will transform menopause care. It will make contraception more affordable and accessible, reducing unplanned pregnancies. It will ensure women suffering from endometriosis and pelvic pain get the early diagnosis and treatment they deserve. And it will mean that women experiencing the debilitating pain of urinary tract infections can access treatment more quickly. And I recently met with pharmacists in my electorate at their pharmacy in Kingston, who were actually part of a trial of being able to give out antibiotics for UTIs, and they were saying, this is such an important thing, and they hope it would be rolled out more broadly. So that is an excellent thing that has happened, and that women will be able to access that quickly, and also, avoid an appointment with a GP that could be hard to get, expensive, and not really necessary if they know what the problem is and they can go and get that help from the pharmacy. These are not just policies, these are life-changing measures that will improve the lives of women across the country at all ages and all parts of their journey. Women like Ali Pepper, a world-class mountaineer who, when she joined us to announce this package in Canberra this week, it was wonderful to hear from her there. She described her battle with menopause as harder than Everest. She thought she'd never climb again. She fought to find a GP trained in menopause care, and once she did, the right treatment changed her life and made her feel like herself again. Ali is now making incredible progress on her goal to climb all 14 of 18,000-metre peaks across the world without oxygen. Our medical system cannot stand in the way of women not only achieving amazing goals like Ali, but going about their daily routines, as I said, facing challenges that women for too long have had to sort of hide these challenges and just been told it's part of being a woman. Well, it's not always. Sometimes there are treatments available that can make a world of difference, and this package is about making those more affordable and accessible to Australian women. This investment also acknowledges the tireless advocacy of women's health organisations, community leaders and everyday Australians who have spoken up about these challenges. Their courage and persistence have led to this moment, and I thank them all for their efforts. Our government is correcting the record for women's health through this package. For the first time in 30 years, we have listed new oral contraceptive pills on the PBS. For the 50,000 women who use Yaz and Yasmin, they will save hundreds of dollars a year. This, I've got to say, amazed me when I heard that a pill hadn't been listed, but then of course I remembered paying a fortune for things, and that what a difference this will make to Australian women, because these are medications that are, many of the pills are old and they're not as effective, don't work as well. These newer pills, 30 years is a long time, but these are now on the PBS, and so women can find the one that is right for them. We're also introducing more choice, lower cost and better access to long-term contraceptives with larger Medicare payments and more bulk billing for IUDs and birth control implants. This will save 300,000 women up to $400 a year in out-of-pocket costs for the birth control that works best for them. The importance of ensuring that women will have choice in their birth control cannot be understated. Not every form of birth control is right for every woman. We have unique bodies and unique responses to different medications. And our government, by providing lower cost alternatives, is giving women the option to find the birth control that's right for them. It gives us agency over our bodies and control over our reproductive health. And, as I say, it's something that most women would recall being dismissed, at some point in their lives on that, trying to sort out those sorts of issues. And as the Assistant Minister likes to say, medical misogyny is alive and well. A woman with endometriosis waits on average 7 years to receive a diagnosis. Endometriosis affects 1 in 9 women. It's not uncommon. A woman with polycystic ovary syndrome waits on average 2 years for a diagnosis, and PCOS affects 1 in 5 women. These illnesses are often debilitating with detrimental effects on both physical and mental health. And that's not taking into account menopause, which every person who menstruates will experience around at some point in their life. Menopausal hot flushes, lack of sleep and muscle and joint aches are an almost universal experience for women. And for too long, these conditions have not received the funding, research or resources that make significant improvements to the quality of life of Australian women. This package is investing in 11 new endometriosis and pelvic pain clinics around the country, joining the 22 we have already funded, and all 33 clinics will be staffed to provide this important care to women. I am so proud of this announcement and of my colleagues, including the Assistant Minister who's here, the work that they have done. and the difference this will make to the lives of Australian women, things that seem overdue, and it has taken an Albanese Labor government with these women pushing these important issues to achieve this change for Australian women, and I just want everyone to know about it. Thank you.
I call the clock.